I was born for this. I was born for this.
Welcome back to another episode of Cork'd Up. I'm Jess Kleinschmidt.
And I'm Rachel Luba.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm not going to comment on it.
Look at my nails.
I know, your nails look amazing. I did press-ons because I'm lazy.
Well, mine are from Orly, and they're great.
And you got your French bully ring.
Yeah.
I got a new ring, and it says love on the middle finger because...
So you can just flip everybody off.
I can flip everybody off, and I'm like, hey, look at my new ring. Greetings. Merry Christmas, love. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes. Happy
You did get a baby Yoda. And
yeah.
I want to one day, I'm actually going to post the video that you sent me one day for like your birthday next year. You're the cutest thing always, but when you got the baby Yoda, you sent me a video and you're like, look what my brother got me. And it was the cutest thing ever. And it was you and baby Yoda. And I couldn't tell who was cuter between you and the baby Yoda.
Aw. Well, I was so excited about it. Like, baby Yoda hasn't left my side. Yeah, he's right there.
You looked at him like he was your child. Like,
that's what I'm telling you, is the excitement level was like, I wonder if I will be that excited for my own child.
I mean, I love kids. I have a niece and a nephew, and I got to be honest, if they came out of my sister-in-law's womb looking like baby Yoda, my nephew would have gotten way more presents for Christmas, and I spoiled the fuck out of him. So that's good to know. It's those eyes, and like sometimes he'll like move his head, and you're like,
I'm in love. It's
take
like,
everything. Take everything. What is our wine word? And it's the perfect segue to talk about what we're talking about.
Our wine word is Darvish or you Darvish.
You Darvish, or mixture of both, however you want.
Not just you.
Not just you.
That could get difficult.
Yeah, we're ladies at the end of the day. And the reason why we have you Darvish as our wine word is we were just going to talk about the Blake Snell trade, but then boom, the you Darvish trade happened. I heard about it last night. No offense to my source, but I wanted to wait it out, and I finally confirmed it later. And so we're gonna start with the you Darvish trade only because it is so fresh. For a few prospects, they weren't even a few prospects, not even top 10 prospects. And it's more of like the Cubs are taking about $59 million of you Darvish's salary, and it was a debt transfer, all these other things. So what are your initial thoughts? Because it's such a unique trade, and we knew it was going to be interesting during a pandemic offseason. What were your initial thoughts when you heard of this trade kind of going down?
I mean, look, the Snell trade was basically meaningless for this year without adding someone else, because the Padres need more than one guy. Because right now they're pitching, they really didn't have anyone that was going to be healthy that could carry them through the season.
Right.
So they were going to have to do more than just that. And the Darvish thing, I mean, makes sense for them. I think Chicago just had no use for you. Like, they're going to rebuild. They just want to get the money off the books, but I don't think they got nearly what they could have. But he is, he's on the back end of his deal. He's going into his age 35 season. And, that's, for a club who, amidst the pandemic is just trying to, offload some money and, getting rid of him. I guess that was worth it to get rid of the salary, because I don't think, they got back prospects, but to me, I think it was more of just offloading some of that cash.
Yeah. And I think that's what we need to concentrate as far as like the bigger picture. But I'm kind of curious because I love me some you Darvish beyond just he's a good player. I think he's going to be so fun for that organization because he's low key funny. Rob Friedman, of course, you guys know him as Pitching Ninja. They're like boys. Yeah. You Darvish literally was and this is too soon, but he was like, you Darvish pushed for Friedman to win the bracket because he didn't want Bauer to win, maybe. I don't know. But it was kind of like from that perspective, it's still a little fresh on that. We did have the Eddie. He did listen to our podcast, which was good. I think
we just flattered we talked about him, but
yeah, and that's how most guys are. If we even mention them, they're like, "Oh, cool."
Shit on them, but they just want their names to come out of our mouth.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, congratulations to you, sir. So the thing that I was interested in, only because from as a reporter's perspective, I'm getting all this information, I'm tweeting it out, and then Darvish himself, Drink, he says, well, wait a second. I found out about this trade via Twitter, but he looked at his phone and nothing was happening with his phone. So naturally, I feel like a fucking asshole. How did I know about Darvish before he did himself? And like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the nature of Twitter now. I mean, you have people spreading rumors on there that aren't even remotely true, and then some things where it's just like they jump the gun on it or they beat people to like it actually becoming official. I know Trevor found out when he got traded. He officially found out through Twitter. I had actually texted him. He was in the middle of the game. I texted him while he was in the dugout, and I said, "You've been traded. Like, it's official." But not on Twitter, but it's official.
Yeah.
And so he found out that way. And then he officially found out when he went to his phone, like at the very end of the game, and it was on Twitter. And then he got called into the office with, Terry Francona and the GM and all that. And they sat him down and he walks in and he was like, "Yeah, I already know." They were like, "Oh," he was like, "Twitter." They were like, so "Well, shoot."
Well, did they act stupid or because I just feel like
he called him in. He was just like, he goes, "I know." Like he walks in the door and
they were shocked that he knew.
Well, and they were just kind of like, I think they were just kind of like, "Well, sorry. Like we wanted to tell you." And he's just like, "Well, yeah, someone else already broke it to me. So it's fine." Cool.
That's interesting.
He's out.
Yeah. It's like nice to know you. Cause I wonder about that. Like obviously these things are going down. And when I'm hearing about it and the fact that I was like, I heard about this last night. Obviously I didn't do anything about it because I was like, my sources kind of knew. I don't really know, but my sources, I've tested him enough and we're good. And that kind of sucked from that dynamic. But like, say for instance, like, because if Darvish tweeted out like, well, why is my phone not going off? Like, how would you handle that as an agent? I mean, you did that with Trevor, but I'm assuming it's going to happen as time goes on and you get more and more clients. And so if I'm a media person and say, you're my source, would you say, Jess, don't tweet it, wait till I tell my client, or you would tell your client? Like, how would it work? For the record, you and I've never worked on this before. So I don't want people to think that we have, but I'm just curious that like, how would you approach that?
Well, I'm wondering if I'm surprised. I mean, I think Darvish is with Wasserman. I'm surprised Wasserman didn't know ahead of, and give him a heads up like, "Hey, by the way, this might happen." Because look, agents they're not necessarily involved at all in a trade. They, that's between teams.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, agents you can talk to the team, be like, "Hey, do you think my player's getting traded? Like, what can I tell him? Like, give me a feel here." I mean, it was pretty clear from everybody, whether it was people who worked in baseball, whether it was fans, it should have been clear to his agents, like, "Hey, Darvish is on the trading block. Just probably send him a text." I'd be shocked if his agents at Wasserman didn't send him a text or something like, "Hey, you might be traded." So my guess is like, this wasn't completely like, "Oh, I had no idea." Like I woke up, like as if Trevor woke up this morning and he signed with the team and he didn't know, like, and it happened without him.
It just reminds me like if my parents announced their divorce on Facebook and like I was sleeping in the process and nobody told me. That's what it would remind me of. And that like fucking sucks. No, like this is, I'm sure it's happened. I said, if it were to happen, that's what I feel like.
I was like, "Jess, this is deep. This is."
It's like, it's probably it's like an Oprah related podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. So it's like, I mean, so maybe it was more of he didn't know officially. And then it was kind of, on Twitter, it was official. But in general, I think an agent, I mean, look, if the casual fan was in the loop, I think an agent should be, and that's not to say that Wasserman necessarily wasn't. I'm sure my guess would be that they were.
Yeah.
So I don't think, again, that this was I literally had no idea, and I checked Twitter, and that's how I found out.
Yeah. And I guess I need to stop thinking about like my situations with my agent because my agent takes like handles the back and forth a lot. And that's not always going to be the case with the baseball player. But I wonder, just because it made me think, when I do call my agent sometimes just crying or upset over something, like you kind of have to do that sometimes, right? Like I feel like it's got to be a shitty process, like not just for Trevor Bauer necessarily, but like we're still waiting on if Yasiel Puig is going to be embraced. We're still waiting on these. So I wonder, how did those conversations go? Because you kind of have to be like their cheerleader in a way, right? Hey, I know you don't like cheerleaders, but you have to be somewhat of their like hype man in a way.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it's tough. You gotta manage their expectations. You also have to make them like kind of calm them down a little bit, because this can be a part of the season where like you start getting nervous, and like players start getting nervous, and you're in it's this uncomfortable state of like, okay, now it's past the holidays. What's going to happen? But we also don't even know when like baseball's going to start. So it's normal to be in this state of like, oh shit, should I, like, should I lower my price, or, whatever it is, but you just kind of got to be patient. I mean, remember Bryce Harper signed after spring training already started. There's no, someone actually, some idiot told me on Twitter, or no, on Instagram, he was making the argument that I'm such an overrated agent, because this was his reasoning, because if I was actually a good agent, Trevor would have been signed by now. I was like, oh,
I feel like it's the complete opposite, is it not?
I mean, that like
if Bryce Harper got signed in October,
Boris signed Bryce Harper after spring training already started for a pretty big deal. Now, whether we want to go into a debate on whether he's a good agent or not, that's a different topic for a different day.
I feel like that's a totally different,
But I would say, like, reasonable minds could argue he's a good agent. And so to say that, the sooner the better. The other funny part is a lot of agents recruit on, if a player signs early, agents will go and target that player and say, hey, this is why you should leave your agent. Your agent signed you this early. He was an idiot. He didn't wait for the market to play out and then get you your real worth. Instead, you guys got scared, and he got you into a deal that was way under your value. So that's how a lot of agents go out and actually recruit. They do it a lot of times in arbitration too. Like the players, they'll keep timestamps of the exact minute that a player settles, and then they'll go and they'll target those players and say, hey, this is why you should leave your agent, because he settled 10 minutes too early. You could have gotten this much more. So it's just funny to me that these dumbass but pretend to be know-it-all fans that will tell me that I'm a bad agent because if I was a good one, I would have already signed. That's how that works.
I mean, I should approach all the girls who totally settled out of high school and married the first guy to talk to and be like, hey, you settled. If you roll with me and you be single for a little bit, we could actually live our lives, be single, and then wait for a little bit for the right guy to come around. That's the only time you should wait to settle.
Right. So it's just look, that's not to say, I mean, every player is different. That's not to say that a player that signs early it's a bad deal. You got to know the market. You got to know your player.
The player too.
But when you have a player that, of the caliber of Bauer, and you definitely don't take the first offer that is handed to you.
Yeah.
Your market is not, it's
Trevor Bauer is a lady. He is a lady. He will not just say yes to the first. It's not Halloween. We're not giving out candy to just anyone. Okay. Just, know your rights. I don't know why I said know your rights. Anywho, let's go back to the trade, because you mentioned we're going to talk with Blake Snell. We're recording this on Monday. So Blake Snell happened Sunday night. And you said the moment that Blake Snell, the trade happened, you said, oh, they're obviously not going to be done. But did you think it would be for you Darvish after that? Or do you, because I mean, I think just from what I've heard from GMs tell me, you want 3 strong, very solid pitchers. I feel like obviously Snell goes in to replace Clevenger, not just for a season, like as a starter, but like San Diego vibe, hell yeah, giving out chicken tenders to fans, love that. So when Blake Snell came to the Padres, did you think a Yu Darvish was going to happen after that?
I mean, that was really your only next. I mean, if you're going to go on the trade market, there were 2 guys on the block. It was Snell and it was Darvish. So, yeah, I mean, they were going to have to. I don't think it would have been worth the investment to get Snell unless they were going to bring someone else.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess I got to be honest, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know how to frame this. I'm surprised there wasn't like a top 10 prospect involved as far as the trade goes from the Padres, but I'm also not at the same time. Like I definitely put Yu Darvish on a pedestal, and I feel like I need to not do that with any of the players. Because like I think of certain people, like, you know, I had Carabas on Bach Talk. We were talking about like perhaps Bryce Harper could go to the Giants. I know if that were the case, I'd have to give up my firstborn. Like, I'm open to it. I'm open to that. Same with Darvish.
Careful. I made a bet with my firstborn. It was the naming rights, but I did it, and it's partial. I partially regret it down the road.
Did you sign something?
Yeah, maybe.
You did? That's impressive.
We won't talk about it, but
wow, Rach, that's like I have to mentally prepare myself for that. Okay, cool. So it's going to be Jessica Kleinschmidt, Luba.
Something like that, probably.
Okay, cool. That's
you can take that up with Joey. He has the rights to it. So.
Deal. Yeah, because I guess I'm kind of shocked, but then I kind of liked how it was too. So like there was money involved and they were still able to maintain like their top prospects. That's like a lot of big dick energy heading into 2021.
Yeah.
Should Dodgers be scared? They should be, right?
They should be worried for sure. I mean, Snell, I think, was cute when they saw that. Like, to me, that if I'm the Dodgers,
it was cute. Like, oh, that's cute.
That's cute. You guys are trying, but like, you're not. That's no. Like, you'll win a few more games, kind of thing.
So it wasn't big dick energy until Darvish got there.
I mean, I think the Dodgers now, okay, like San Diego's not fucking around. Like they're gonna, you know. You won the World Series. Now that's over. You're a clean slate, and it's time to go. You know, you better you're not just a shoo-in kind of thing. I think that Darvish made him look a little more serious for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, are they done? I mean, I feel like they're great now. And I mean, I don't feel like, from what I've heard, the Padres weren't in talks for any more bullpen help. They're definitely, I don't believe they were attached to Liam at all. The Dodgers still are, and I feel like that could be their fuck you moment back to the Padres. Like, you're going to put Liam on there. Hell yeah. That's more big dick energy. But I wonder what if it's going to be a back and forth type of thing between them, because my mind is I forget about the other divisions now. I'm like, wait, they're the NL West and everybody else. And I mean, for me personally, I'm excited to see what the Giants do, because I know they're not going to win the NL West, but they're going to be the team to be like, fuck you, we're going to have some fun. And Dickerson's going through the offseason without an injury for the first time in his career. You got Yastrzemski, who hits 2 strike home runs and all this other stuff. Posey will be back. Love me some Chadwick Tromp, all this other stuff. So I feel like they get to have some fun. But yeah. I don't know if Farhan Zaidi is going to do anything crazy. Do you think that's going to happen?
My brother was my older brother Adam and I were just talking actually, and he was like, "When was the last time the Giants made a move?" And I was like, "It's a fair point." He's like, "When was the last time they were involved in a blockbuster, a big trade?" And I started thinking, and you would know this probably better than I, but my first thought, I was like, I guess Eva Longoria, or
you said Eva?
Evan. Why did I just say Eva?
No, because Desperate Housewives is a great fucking
Eva. Yeah. Evan Longoria.
Yeah.
That's where my brain is fried today.
No, it's totally fine. Even if they got Eva Longoria, fucking good for them. But I mean, and I think they're going to be good because they have Jason Vossler. I had him on Bach Talk recently. The guy is my type of player, like
but
growing up.
Wait, when was the last time that they made a big trade?
I couldn't tell you.
That's what I'm telling you. So
yeah, no, you're 100% right. They're always me at the wedding, the bridesmaid, right?
Yeah.
And they give it the good old college try. I mean, obviously they had Harper, they went after Giancarlo Stanton, but I feel like
they have not done anything.
Yeah, but I just don't sleep on Farhan Zaidi though. They finally.
I'm asleep right now.
Yeah, and here's the thing though, they've always had a shitty farm system until Farhan got there, and now they have like Joey Bart and Luciano and like all these young guys, and either one or two positive things are going to come out of it. They're going to make them to like be great big league players, which is literally what the Giants do, or they can trade them and get something great in return. Farhan's like a really big maniac, but he's smart at the same time. Like, I love watching that guy. I feel like I'm literally getting crazy about the Giants, but we have to think about that because the NL West is going to be Rockies and Diamondbacks are going to suck. So the Giants are probably sitting there like, let's just have some fun. But you're right. Evan Longoria should have been on the team years ago.
Yeah, but my thing is like, you're a big market Giants, and I don't know what they're doing right now because I haven't seen them really make moves. Like you have players even a year ago you could have traded away. I mean, you could have gone prospects. I don't know. I'm curious what they're doing because to me, like I haven't seen them involved in anything.
I can confidently say though they could win a World Series in the next 5 years. I can confidently say that.
I mean,
because just what they're doing right now.
Hometown team, man. I'd go for it. I would love it.
Every article, like attaching Trevor to the Giants says, well, his agent, huge Giants fan.
I love how that's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like personally, I'd be like, I just want whatever colors she looks good in. That's all I care about, really. Speaking of colors you look good in, Rach, I really like your shirt.
Hey, thanks.
Where'd you get it?
I got it from Momentum.
Oh my gosh.
You Cork'd up. Let me see yours.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Is it
That's
a crop
so
top?
weird. And for your lovely pleasure, I'm super into crop hoodies these days. This is a crop hoodie.
They're the most comfortable things ever.
They're very soft. And I'm not going to model it off for you because Mama's sitting down. And when I sit down, the belly isn't cute. Let's just be honest. But I can't promise it's super comfy and it's super cute. And we have all kinds of stuff coming out soon. Actually, I'm going to show off yours because it's super, super cute. Because you were showing off your nails earlier. And I really
drew this, by the way, by hand. Those are my hands.
Those are actually Rachel's hands.
That Rachel drew.
Check out my curves. Yeah, no. And then your adorable little signature. Mind you, one time Rachel was texting like our group chat and she was like, oh, like I have like an idea for like to associate wine and like something. My ass is thinking like stick figures, whatever. I forget who Rachel fucking Luba is. And this thing's like gorgeous with like wine and a lady dancing. And it's like, I'm sitting here like, cool. And then I sent like a stick figure because I just wanted to remain humble in the group. And that's fine. But yeah, so we have the Cork'd Up brand, really fun colors.
What's your shirt?
That color looks amazing. Oh, my shirt? It's so funny to ask. Obviously, do your hair, drink some wine, watch baseball, check marks, and then my little signature down there too. The one thing I'm proud about, Mama, we both have adorable signatures.
I didn't even notice the signature until you just said that.
I feel like it's super important. And then, the actual Cork'd Up, different colors and stuff. And we are so thankful for our followers. I keep getting like amazing messages. I know we talked about this last time, but it's like, this is amazing. And I can't wait for y'all to be like wearing our swag soon. And we'll let you know the details as time goes on. But
we also need like, if any of our male followers have ideas of like certain shirts that they would like, or if there's like a certain color, because I know that
or like a certain quote that we say over and over again.
Yeah, anything. But yeah, so if we tend to probably cater more towards like females when it comes to clothes, but
like also
we love
men have plenty of stuff. Let's be honest. I don't
But
mean to be rude, but
we have male supporters too, so
we do.
we got to give them a shout out.
I really just want to see Trevor in this
check out
my curves shirt, like more than anything. And Yasiel Puig, I want him to wear my do your hair, drink some wine, watch baseball.
He's got some pretty fancy hair. I mean,
he does have good hair. I feel like that's importante. But these turned out amazing. I'm actually like, I wasn't shocked, but like, we both wear women's. It's so different. Like a woman's cut is just like night and day for men, and I'm sick of like cutting men's shirt up so I can like wear it, and I'm over it. Well, the Padres are now the San Diego Daddies, so we know that. I keep retweeting. I wrote San Diego Daddies. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like last year towards like their playoffs, and I keep retweeting it. So we have a fun episode coming up next time. Hopefully we can actually do the Rule 5 draft stuff, because I know we've been pushing that off. But just takes a little bit extra time.
To this stuff though.
Yeah, and it's this stuff just kind of popped up. But I guess like, are you shocked that a move happened right now, or were you thinking like a move this big would happen later?
No, it's not even January yet, so no.
It's really not January yet. That is true.
I thought it was like earlier today. I was like, oh no, it's 2021. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Like after Christmas doesn't start the new year, but there's like that 4-day, 5-day, 6-day like period of like.
I have no idea what I'm doing right now. It's a weird time.
It is.
But it's fine. I got bangs though, like side swipe bangs today, and I'm kind of.
Ooh, I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing with my life. Anywho, Matt Daniels just texted me.
Oh, hi Matt.
We love him. Anywho, love you. Cheers.
Love you too. Cheers. And
Happy New Year, Mama. Love you so much.
Cheers to 2021, baby.